everybody! Today's video, I thought I would do something a little bit different. I'm going to rank Laforet brands. Harajuku Laforet brands, yeah. So basically, I've been following Japanese fashion for such a long time. Like, I've been in Japan almost 10 years, and the brands come and go quite a lot, but there are some that are constant. And the ones I'll be reviewing today are like brands that have been in Laforet for at least a few years. Some of them, or most of them, you probably know, but some of them maybe you won't. A disclaimer, this is just my personal opinion, so if I drop a really bad take, please don't cancel me. But please tell me in the comments if you disagree with me, because honestly, I just really want to hear your ideas. And yeah, this is just my own personal opinion. And yeah, let's jump into it. Oh yeah, firstly, let's peep my son here. And I was kind of lazy today. I didn't really put on that much makeup, and I'm actually wearing my pajama bottoms under my skirt. So maybe I'm not in the best position to be like reviewing kawaii brands, but yeah, here you go. Okay, let's kick it off with the big one. We're gonna start with Encrouge. Encrouge have been around since I've been in Japan, so they're at least 10 years old. I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10, because I would say like 4 or 5 years ago at least, they would have probably got a 9 out of 10 from me, because they used to be like the go-to brand that you would go to if you wanted cheap kawaii clothing. And the good points are that they tend to follow trends, so like they have a lot of their own original designs, but also like when July is popular or like Yume Kawaii was popular, they generally make things that go with trends. So they're always updating, they're always progressing, they're always growing and evolving. But the bad side of that is often, I feel like they steal a lot of designs. And there was actually a scandal a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year, when they stole a picture of the model Nakamura Risa, and they put it on one of their t-shirts, and it was clearly her, like it was just her face from down, from like this, but she has very beautiful lips, so it's obvious it was her, and she got really mad and she tweeted about it. So I think that's something that happened. My beef with Encrouge is I used to buy from them quite a lot years and years ago, and you used to be able to buy sets ups, like a top and a skirt, and they used to be together, and it used to be quite cheap, like 7,000 yen max. But these days I've noticed that, of course, clothing prices are going up because of the economy, because of inflation and stuff like that. But Encrouge in particular, I feel like it's had the most price hike out of the kawaii brands that I'm interested in, I guess. And it doesn't make sense because their quality has never been amazing, but I feel like the last few years there's also been a dip in quality, so the price is going up and the quality is going down, which isn't good for a brand that wants to stay around forever. Yeah, I noticed it's just incredibly expensive, because I remember when I first came to Japan, I really liked Liz Lisa, but Liz Lisa isn't a super cheap brand. It's not overly expensive, but I would go to Encrouge instead of going to Liz Lisa because it was cheaper. But now, Encrouge is the same price as Liz Lisa, if not more so, which is bonkers. Like, I don't understand, because like, of course, Liz Lisa's had a little bit of a price hike too, but Encrouge is just, it's been incredible. Like, now if you wanted to buy a setup, like a top and a skirt, you're looking at 15 to 20,000 yen, which is really expensive, because the clothes aren't good quality, and you know, they're clearly made, they're mass produced in China, and it's just like, it's a shame, because I like a lot of their designs. I own quite a lot of Encrouge clothes. I'm not going to stop buying from them, but I just think it's very greedy, a little bit lazy, and I think it's going to hurt them in the long run, particularly because right now the economy isn't great, and a lot of the audience who are wearing actual kawaii brands now are obviously, you know, like children. They're junior high school kids or high school kids, and they don't have that much money. So my advice to them would be just lower their prices slightly. I don't think there needs to be such a price hike. I know that they're trying to make a profit, and I understand that, but it's such a big brand and they're clearly making a profit. I think that they just got a little bit greedy. Next up, let's do a lesser known brand. This one's called Abilitage. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're quite a small store in Laforet. They've been there for a few years, but they're not like overly well known. I've never personally bought anything from there, but I know that the staff are really nice. They sell a lot of like corsets and I don't really know how to describe their style. It's a little bit old school. They sell a lot of accessories. I really like their aesthetic. It's very cute. It's a little bit original. They have quite an original look, but again, it's like a price point for me. Like, the corsets are really expensive, but they're not steel bones. There's like plastic, so I don't understand why it's so expensive. It's not really a style that I would particularly wear, but I think it does look good on other people. They do a lot of like prints, which again for me they're a little bit messy. Again, that's why I'm giving it a 4 out of 10, because I don't know, nothing about them makes me really want to buy from them. Next, let's do a controversial one. Hehe. Okay, if I could give them just a score out of for styling, it would be 10 out of 10, because I love their aesthetic, I love their style, but I'm gonna give them a 5 out of 10 for a couple of reasons. The first one again is pricing, because I understand Hehe, their quality is actually pretty good, so like I think that they would deserve to charge more, unlike say Encrouge. However, Harajuku, however, 20,000 yen for a beret is honestly extortionate. The prices just don't make any sense. Like, they're just, I know that the lucky bags, the fukubukuro, they're like, I think they start at 50,000 yen. It's just, honestly, just way too expensive. And another issue I have with them is, while I really love their style, each piece can't really be worn on its own. You'd have to buy like a full set, and for a full set you're looking like maybe 100,000 yen. So while their style is really cute and unique, it would be very hard to work into a regular wardrobe. You need lots of their pieces, and also like all the models for them look a very certain way. They have like a, I don't know, I'd say like a Showa aesthetic, where they're girls who have like naturally black hair and stuff like that. It looks fantastic, but again, it's not for everyone, and for that reason I honestly don't see them staying around for that much longer. If I was to offer them advice, their print, amazing. Their berets, incredible. Maybe drop the price a little bit and maybe make a few pieces that would be easier to incorporate into like a normal person's wardrobe, or someone that doesn't necessarily want to wear that particular style every day, and I think they would just get more customers. Next up, let's do a Lolita brand. I deliberately am not going to review Baby the Star Shine Bright, Angelic Pretty, Metamorphose, because, you know, like most people know those brands, and you know, like their quality speaks for themselves. But this one is maybe lesser known. Oh my god, I'm gonna fudge this. Atelier Piero. Atelier Piero. I think that's how you say it. I mean, the easiest way would be to look it up in katakana, but yeah, my son's really noisy today, I'm sorry. Okay, first of all, it sucks for them that it's A and P, because people associate AP with Angelic Pretty, and Angelic Pretty are always going to be more popular, so I think the naming choice for them was a little bit unfortunate. I'm gonna give them a 5 out of 10. Wait, maybe that's a bit harsh. I'll give them a 6 out of 10, because their store is updated now, but they had a store in the basement floor for the longest time, and it was just so cluttered. I get like a little bit claustrophobic, so when I went in there, it would just kind of like disorientate me. It's kind of like going to Don Quixote. It was just like too much. Each rack had so many dresses that you had to like force them apart to see what they had. They're like a gothic Lolita looking brand, and they're kind of like piratey. I actually own one piece from them. They have a very signature corset dress, which is incredible. It's amazing. I love it. Fantastic. So based just on that dress alone, I would want to give them a much higher score. But I think my problem with them is that their style is so like convoluted. They have just too many things, and like there's so many like aesthetics going on, and my biggest problem with their aesthetic is that they haven't updated it in like 10 years. Like, it's just like pirate Lolita, like Victorian style, which isn't really popular right now. I just think it's unfortunate, because obviously Harajuku is somewhere that is very influenced by trends, and nothing that they're selling is really trending, and that's not gonna work in their favor. But I like a lot of their items. I like that they have a lot of accessories, and the other thing I own from them is an accessory. And yeah, they do like a lot of indie accessories. That's great, but again, they're quite expensive. A lot of the accessories will set you back like 20,000 yen, but if they're, I feel like it's kind of like a diamond in the rough. If you go there, you might find something amazing, but 9 out of 10 times when you go there, maybe you won't find anything, or if there is something, you might not even find it. My suggestion to them would be, again, to like maybe add a few products that are a little bit more trendier. It's great that they have an image and they don't want to move away from that, but particularly now, like Gothic and Jedi is coming back, I feel like they could maybe make a compromise. Their social media is also kind of like messy, and they don't really use like famous models or Instagrammers. And if you look at other Lolita brands like Angelic Pretty or like Baby, stuff like that, the reason they get Lolita to stay relevant, because Lolita is kind of a hard fashion, I would say, to stay relevant, is they do use a lot of Instagrammers. For example, one of my favorite models that I mentioned at the start of the video, Nakamura Lisa, when she started modeling for Angelic Pretty again, I got really into it because she looked fantastic. She's also a little bit older, but she's very elegant, and honestly it did pull me back into the fashion. So again, I think maybe the issue is the people who work there are maybe a little bit older, they don't have anyone a little bit younger working for them, and maybe their social media needs a little bit of work. But again, really like the brand. Next, let's do an accessory brand. I'm gonna do Maisons. Maisons, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. That is because in terms of like how kawaii business should be run, they're doing everything right. They have, I mean, essentially it's just like a bag store, right? Their signature is like this silky tote bag with ribbons on it, and they've made so many variations of it, and they're all fantastic. They do a lot of collaborations. They do like Sanrio collaborations, they do Winnie the Pooh collaborations, they do tons of collaborations, and they have like so many small accessories like bag charms, phone accessories and stuff like that. There's always something that maybe you will need. And the reason I'm giving it 10 out of 10 is because it's the place that everyone gets gifts from. If it's your friend's birthday, you get them a Maisons bag or some hand cream or an umbrella or a parasol or something like that. There's always a gift, and it is quite reasonably priced. The quality is pretty good, and like overall I just really can't fault them. Their products are very high quality, the price isn't bad. I just really like them. Okay, next is Mary Jenny. This is a lesser known brand. I wouldn't know how to describe it. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like Morike from years and years ago. It's kind of like neutral beige, a little bit trad wifey because it's all like really long dresses, a lot of long skirts, but the clothes are all very comfortable. They're all quite high quality, and the thing that's my image of them is they do a lot of bear stuff. Like they have like really cool bear bags that you like over the shoulder ones. They have they like sew bear heads onto things. It's just a really cute aesthetic. I don't own a lot of their clothes because they're all quite long, and I'm quite short and rotund, so like most of their actual clothing doesn't suit me, but I have like some cardigans from there. I have the little bear accessories from there. They're all really cute. And yeah, the clothing's comfortable, and I'm all about comfort. So yeah, I really like this brand. I really recommend it. I have a model friend in Japan, and she wears a lot of Mary Jenny, and it looks so good on her. It's not one of the flashier brand. It's a lot more understated. But I just really like it. And if you don't know this brand, then please check it out. Oh my god, Hade-chan. Next, I'm gonna do a Jedi brand. Jedi is very popular right now, so there are like Jedi brands opening. This one is called Jamie Unk, and I think it's in some kind of collaboration with Encrouge. I should have really checked that first. But their clothes are quite similar, but they're a lot more gothic, and they have a lot of cool accessories. They're a lot like edgier. But I remember when the brand was first I remember when the brand was first announced on Instagram, and I was so interested in it. It looked great. The way they run their social media is very eye-catching and quite professional. But then when I actually went to the store, the clothes are really low quality. Like, I feel like bad saying this. I know how to describe it, but they're all kind of like black and white, and the white is like that really overly bleached, hurt your eyes white cotton that just wrinkles really easily and kind of like disintegrates, which is a shame because I really like a lot of their designs. They do a lot of Kunomi collaborations, which are really, really great. Overall, just your run-of-the-mill July brand. There's nothing really special about them apart from their collaborations with Kunomi. I'm gonna give them a 5 out of 10 purely because after the July trend is over in a couple of years maybe, I don't see what they'll do or where they'll go from there. But if they are associated with Encrouge, maybe they can kind of like ride off that. But yeah, overall, not impressed. Next is quite an old one. This is Nile Perch. Okay, Nile Perch has also been around forever. They have a store in Harajuku. I think they still have it. They have a couple of stores. It's very like Decorator or Fairy K. Like, do you remember when Fairy K was a thing? It's very pastel, rainbows, unicorns. They have a very unique aesthetic. A lot of it is handmade. I really, really like their aesthetic. Again, the issue is the quality is mostly terrible. Even though they're handmade, it's just not made with fabrics that are comfortable, and the price is extortionate. Like a t-shirt, you're looking at least 7,000 yen. Like the accessories are really, really expensive for no reason. It's just like a plastic thing on a plastic chain, and again you're looking for at least 5,000 yen. I don't know why it's that expensive. I think it's probably down to it being a smaller independent brand, so I'm willing to let them slide a little bit for that. Again, like some of the aesthetics are a little bit weird. Like they have a lot of like baby themed items and like pacifiers and stuff like that, which is a little bit weird, but again, who am I to judge? But yeah, I will give them a 6 out of 10, mostly because for me they're really nostalgic, seeing them everywhere. Even though I have never bought a single thing from them, if their brand closed down, I would be quite sad because I feel like the aesthetic itself is just very Harajuku, if you get what I mean. Okay, next is Access Femme. I'm not sure if you know Access Femme. Again, I don't know how to describe it. It is very like Mori girl, a lot of beige. They also do Lolita, which I like, but their style is very, I don't know how to explain it, but it's more for like the older crowd. Their clientele are mostly women in their 30s and 40s, which is like my demographic, which is great. But again, like nothing, most of their items just aren't interesting, and they have so many products, like so many products, and a lot of them are ugly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because their stuff always ends up in the secondhand stores in Tokyo, which I frequent a lot, and I think it's really funny that like they're not by any means expensive, but when they resell for like 5% of the price that they sell at, which is just not a good sign. If you want to look at how well a brand is doing, I'd go into like a secondhand store and see the price and see how that compares, because a lot of brands, say like Eat Me, they resell for almost the same amount of price, right? But like Access Femme, you can pick up a lot of Access Femme items for like 500 yen, which is worrying. Again, like I have a couple of items from them that you'll find like diamonds in the rough, but most of their stuff is just, I don't know, it's like very weird, like weird floral patterns and like too many buttons or like an ugly print. They're quite like gaudy and they're quite like grandma-y. Next one I'll do very briefly is called Melon store, and I'm gonna give them a 0 out of 10, mostly because I worked with them before and it was just an awful experience, and they have a lot of their own items, but most of the stuff they get from AliExpress and charge 4 times the price. I may make a video about working with them at some time. I just don't want to get sued, but yeah, 0 out of 10 for them. Last one. Okay, the last one is, we'll do like quite a normal mainstream brand, and this is called Nice Clout, which again is just such a bad name. Like a lot of problems with Japanese brands, it honestly comes down to the name. It's just so bizarre sounding, and my American friend said it reminded her of the clap, which is like a British slang for like a sexually transmitted disease. But I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10, and that is because the price is very, very good. They have like most of their items are just like basics. They have like a lot of cardigans, a lot of basic sweaters, but they're very cute, and a lot of the things you can incorporate into a more like kawaii wardrobe. I own so many cardigans and sweaters and like basic items from them, all high quality. I love them all. I had a hukubukuro from them the end of last year or the start of this year. Fantastic, and honestly just can't fault them. Price is great, the quality is pretty good for the price, and that's what I'm looking for. Sometimes there'll be a season where everything's a little bit boring and other seasons will be great. I just like how they're always progressing and they're always updating themselves. Yeah, and that was a lot of the brands that I like from Harajuku Laforet. I love Harajuku Laforet. I love watching brands come and go, seeing the ones that stay. I'm really interested in like kind of like the business practices and the things that make brands stick around for longer. Let me know if I was a bit too harsh. I noticed that I didn't really give really high scores, and I think it's that I'm quite picky, and I'm very picky about like quality and price. Obviously because I'm very, very stingy, but in general, like, I don't want to pay a lot of money for something when the quality is bad, and I think that that's the biggest concern with a lot of kawaii brands. But yeah, I love the brands I mentioned today, apart from like a couple. I really, really like them. Let me know if there's any I've missed, or if there's any you'd like me to review. If there's any in this video that you didn't know about before, also please let me know. Yeah, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe.